you can count on having wind just about every day in Nebraska. Today I'm going to inform you about conflict with the wind farms being built here in Nebraska. My main points are going to be I'm going to talk about like what is a wind turbine, how does it work, some pros and cons, and the current wind farm being built between Creston and Columbus. Energy.gov, they said that basically it works. A wind turbine works the opposite of a fan. It does look like a really tall, giant fan in a way. The wind turns three blades around a rotor, and this rotor is connected to a main shaft that spins a generator, and that's how it creates electricity. They can be built on land, offshore, in like lakes or oceans. Utility scale turbines can range in size from 100 kilowatts to as large as several megawatts. And Wind 101 kind of taught me how it works. It consists of a steel tubular tower that's about 325 feet tall, and it supports a hub to secure the blades. And then it also supports a nacelle, which houses a gearbox, a shaft, the generator, and all the controls. And how these work is like obviously the wind doesn't face or blow out the same direction every day. So the wind turbine the top of it rotates to face into the wind so the blades will turn. And I've talked about what a wind turbine is and how it works. I'm going to talk about some pros. Population education says that they're low cost, meaning that they range between 8 and 20 cents kilowatts per hour. And there are no harmful emissions, no gas being produced or anything like that. And they have a quick construction. They said that a whole farm can be built in about a year. And they have a high payback. Some cons, Bernard writes that the wind doesn't always blow. Obviously it doesn't. So sometimes you're not going to get any wind. You're not going to get any electricity. It requires a lot of open land. If you notice in Nebraska, most of the wind farms are built in fields where there's corn. They're surrounded by corn. And the sound can be a nuisance. I've never heard a wind turbine make noise, but they do make noise. Sometimes the weather's not always in your favor. And like I said before, you could end up paying for electricity because the wind turbines aren't rotating. We also have a lot of storms. Storms, wind, and lightning can cause damage to these wind turbines. The blades can be dangerous to birds and bats when they're migrating and looking for food and stuff like that. Some city codes won't even allow you to build wind turbines because they're so tall. And they may interfere with TV and cell phone reception. Now that I've talked about some pros and cons, I will move on to the Creston. Well, it's not Creston. The wind farm being built between Creston and Columbus. Valla writes in the Columbus Telegram on January 2015 that notifying everybody that there will be a wind farm being built between Columbus and Creston. It was purchased by Loup Power and from a company called Blum, and they're out of Omaha. And this kind of really upset people because they were just notified about it. Nobody got to have a say in it. They didn't have like meetings or anything. Like Loup just did it. They just decided, hey, we're going to build this wind farm and you guys are just going to deal with it. So they went to all these farmers and were like, hey, we're going to put these wind turbines on your land. Here's some money. So not too many people were very happy about it. There has been a lot of conflict on it. There are a lot of people that really aren't happy about it. Blum writes in the April 2015 Columbus Telegram, that the Platte County Assistant Attorney, Elizabeth Lay, she had concerns about the road being built. Or not the road being built, the wind turbines being built and the roads being maintained. And So while they're dragging these huge long pieces of steel across these roads, she wants to make sure that after they're done with construction, that these roads will be fixed. They will be graded, and people aren't gonna have trouble driving on them when they go to and from wherever they need to go. And she also wanted assurance that Blue Stem will, when they are like they check on the wind turbines and like make sure like everything's up to date on them and everything's working properly. Like while they're doing maintenance on the wind turbines, that even the roads then will be maintained and graded and safe to travel because they're using that road, so they should have to fix it. And but nobody knows, like do they even have a vehicle or the equipment to do that, to grade the roads and keep them safe for people to drive on. So today I told you about what a wind turbine is, what a wind farm is, how they work, some pros and cons, and the wind farm being built between Columbus and Creston.